Well, greetings everybody. Coming to you tonight from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Beautiful down here, as you can see. Nice sunny day, about 60 degrees. Pretty good surf going on. It's supposed to be a storm that come through last night, but that didn't develop. So just some good surf, pretty good wind, and a beautiful day out here today. We've had a great conference so far. Really challenging, actually. I want to tell you a story about that in just a few moments that will actually surprise you. Okay, so it's time to talk about the rental car. I think on Wednesday night of worship, I was actually talking a little bit about some of my issues I was having with the rental car for this trip down here. I flew from Pittsburgh down through Atlanta and I'm into Pensacola. Had problems with the rental car. I thought I had it solved kind of in the middle of the night on the way down to Pensacola. Finally got some things straight and felt I was pretty good to go. When I arrived in Pensacola, I figured out really quickly that no, I was not ready to go. Landed, came down to baggage claim, grabbed my bag, went over to the rental car section where all the companies are there. Pensacola is a very popular tourist area, as well as there's a military base here. The Blue Angels are based here in Pensacola, and just lots of activity. So there's lots of rental cars, lots of traffic. All the major companies are here. Went over to get my rental car, and I noticed as I was approaching the counter that there was probably 100 people there, and they were screaming, and they were mad, and they were shouting, and just, it was absolute chaos at the Pensacola Airport Rental Car Agency. I thought only maybe I was experiencing this, but also our guest here speaking to this weekend as well, Max Barroso, also experienced the same thing. His rental car was canceled in Pensacola just like mine. Well, upon further examination, I discovered that this was actually the plan of the Pensacola Airport and the rental car companies, because there was probably 100 people at least trying to get their cars. It turns out they only had 20 or 25 cars. So they had completely overbooked their rental car availability. And when that happened, they did the unthinkable in America. They raised the price. The rental car was supposed to be $350 for the 5 days that I'm here. But folks, when they determined that they only had a few cars, these rental companies banded together, and the rental car price, if I had wanted to pursue getting one of the available cars, went from $300 to $1,500 for 5 days. Folks, that is ludicrous. Of course, instantly I said, you're crazy. I got friends down here. I'm going to make something happen. So I started thinking what to do. Instantly I had the thought, okay, let's go to the Mobile airport. About 75, 80 miles away. Well, how am I going to get there? Well, I'm going to take an Uber. So I instantly called an Uber while everybody else is still fighting. I said, I got to go over there and get a car. Uber picked me up. Nice gentleman, retired military, doctor. He did 6 tours, 3 in Afghanistan, 3 in Iraq. I thanked him for his service. He told me about his war stories. It was an amazing conversation that we had for the hour-and-a-half drive from Pensacola to Mobile. As I'm on the way to Mobile, I pull my phone out, and I go on to Expedia, and I said, okay, I'm going to rent me a car in Mobile. I was just hoping. Now, if that had been a disaster, I would have had the Uber driver just take me down here. I'd have done something. I mean, come on, we're going to make it. But it worked out. The rental price for 5 days out of Mobile, $350. And not only that, I'm able to return the rental car, not to Mobile, but to Pensacola, because I'm flying home Monday night from Pensacola. And I needed the car. I'm ministering here, and then I've got to go to Spanish Fort, Alabama, and I will be speaking up at a church Sunday in Spanish Fort, Alabama. So this was not an option. Fortunately, the Lord blessed me. I was able to find a car in Mobile, but I had to hustle to get it. Once I arrived in Mobile, it's a very small airport, and I went in. The rental car place was dead. No people were there, and I was the only one. There was 2 people, a lady and a gentleman working at the counter. And I came in and I says, listen, I'm here to get a car. I just booked it en route from Pensacola Airport and reserved it. And it's just a disaster over there. And the lady from behind the desk, she goes, "Oh yeah, Pensacola is a disaster." She goes, "You're the first one to arrive. There are many more people right behind you right now coming to get a car." She goes, "But we've only got 10. Now, we've only rented out what we have, but people say they're coming anyway. We're getting ready to have a disaster, but we're not going to gouge people. We're not going to steal from people." She goes on to tell me that Pensacola's been doing that for months and months. There are no cars. And I understood that because it's very obvious. You know, I've traveled a lot and it's just so different. Absolutely, it's a disaster, to be quite honest with you. So I went ahead and did the rental thing, got the car, got everything ready to go. And the gentleman that was helping me goes, "Listen, I'm giving you the best car we got." Folks, it is a Nissan Sentra. You heard me right. And I'm telling you right now, I have rented hundreds of cars in my lifetime. This is not a rental car. This is not a car that Alamo has purchased from Ford or Nissan or Chevy. This is a car that Alamo has purchased from a person. This is absolutely an aftermarket car. There's all this custom stuff on it, a custom radio. Rental car companies do not do that. They use new cars and then they sell them off 2 years later. But folks, there are no new cars and there are no used cars. So they must be purchasing cars from anywhere. I get the car, and as I'm going to my position, which was A25, my parking space where the car was, I go past A22, and I look down, and it's a blue Nissan. And folks, I'm looking at this rental car that's getting ready to be rented by somebody coming from Pensacola, and this car doesn't even have a bumper. Take a look at this picture right quick. That is a car that Alamo is actually renting. There is no bumper. This is just an indication of where our country is at economically. Now, for those of you that are with me all the time, it's okay. God is in control. But I'm here to tell you, and in just a few moments, I'm going to give you an update on Russia and Ukraine. We keep talking about the Ezekiel 38 scenario, and I just every day get firmer behind that scenario. The issue in this world that is going to cause the major problem is economics, and we're seeing it right now. We're seeing it in America. We're seeing the markets go crazy. We're seeing it with the Russia and Ukraine destabilization. We're seeing it in the Chinese Olympics. We're seeing it in the Middle East, and it is going to continue. But I've got good news for you. Jesus is still in control, and he knows everything that is going on. So tonight, with a little bit of that goofiness that is the rental car story, don't get down. Be encouraged. Jesus is still on the throne. We follow him, we serve him, and everything's going to be good because God holds this world in the palm of his hand.
Great question.
Down here heading to lunch after a great session. And this is point number 2 or 3 tonight, whatever it's going to be and what you're watching. But the problem is supposed to be holy and being men of God. And all these guys want to do is talk about college football. It's like Alabama's got some serious issues down here. You know, right back here. Who do you like, Jason?
War Eagle.
Auburn. Who you like?
War Eagle.
Auburn. Of course, Max from Oklahoma. And I'm the only one that's got any sense at all following a real university where you get a real education. We just are terrible. It's the University of Virginia. Although we are national basketball champions and probably have the holiest basketball team led by Minister of God, Tony Bennett. But head to lunch, had a great session. And there's Bishop Jason Byler, Alabama.
Listen.
Rick Fountain, the legend, going to Oyster House, and Maxo Barroso.
Yes.
This is the young man who's responsible for my daughter being in Mexico.
You're welcome.
We're going to have a talk at lunch. Be blessed. Yep, sunny, and there's the beach, folks. It's gorgeous.
It is.
Praise God. Earlier this morning, also after one of the sessions, I had a friend of mine who's a pastor in Pensacola, Florida, show us something about the property. This is a brand new Hilton property here, right on the Gulf, as you can see. In fact, this area was devastated by one of the previous hurricanes. pastors here recently. This is a brand new property, just developed, and about 100 pastors here from all over Alabama and Mississippi and Florida, and for a time of encouragement and refreshing. And Max is here, and I'm here, and we're ministering to them over this weekend. But earlier, really interesting about this property is something I discovered. It looks like a phone booth inside of the conference center. And I had no clue what this little room is there for. So I've got my friend, Pastor Mike Pickett from Pensacola, Florida, going to show us and explain to us what's up with the little room. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pastor Mike Pickett.
How you doing?
Pensacola, Florida.
All the way.
Central Chapel.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you for letting me be on the program with you.
Where are we at?
We are in Gulf Shores, Alabama at the Lodge, which is a Hilton resort.
Right on the Gulf of Mexico?
Beautiful, yes.
Brand new.
Brand new.
And
it's amazing.
You and I discovered something last night that just points to where we're at in our society right now.
Yeah, it's a
two little rooms outside the conference center.
Yeah.
And maybe give us an idea what we think they are.
Well, this is what we believe, a safe space. So we're going to show something. I don't know if any of you're going to tell me if you're saved or not by this question. Who remembers Chris Farley? Do you remember big man with a little coat? Well, we're going to do big man in a little room. We're going to test it out just for you.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Folks, he is inside this little room, and they're all over the property here. This is for millennials that when they have an emotional breakdown or something and they need a quiet space, they go in here. Are you having a breakdown?
Can you bring my chai tea to me, please?
Bring my chai tea. Folks, I mean, last night we discovered this, and we made a joke about it, but
yeah.
It's sad, Mike.
Yes.
Where society has gone to.
Where we block ourselves off from everybody else.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, I won't lie. There's some days that I want some privacy, but I'd rather do that in the room.
Exactly. This is ridiculous, to be honest with you. But shows where we're at.
Yeah.
Goofiness.
Yes, it is.
All right. Love you, brother.
Thank you.
Yep.
Love you.
Folks, I want to change the scenery up a little bit now because it was really windy out there on the beach. So, yes, I have relocated to my balcony. Yeah, my balcony's looking at the beach. But hey, every once in a while, you've got to suffer for the gospel. It's a challenge to suffer for the gospel down here in Gulf Shore, Alabama, with the ocean, and the waves. 65 degrees. But somebody's got to do it for the gospel. These people need Jesus too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I want to just take a couple of minutes because tonight, while you're watching this, I will actually be in a service ministering tonight. But there were a couple of things that I wanted to draw our attention to tonight. The first one that I want to talk about tonight is I'm sure everybody is paying attention to the Russian and Ukrainian situation. I've been talking to quite a few of my friends in Ukraine and in Russia, and yes, it is heating up right now. You're seeing things like, 700,000 people are being evacuated from eastern Ukraine. You're seeing more troops amass. You're seeing, I think President Biden's even going to speak to the American people today. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that. You guys know I only read foreign media. So it's definitely getting interesting. And I talked to a pastor friend of mine just this afternoon. So this is like hot off the press stuff. And the reality is it's getting pretty tense there. We talked in the past about a false flag event where things will happen to make it seem that provocation is necessary. And right now it looks like it is possible. I'm still leaning toward there's not going to be a major incursion here or a major event. But I will tell you this. I'm a little bit surprised with the evacuation of the 700,000 people. Now it seems it's a bit more possible that we could see an elevation an increase in the military activity. You know, I was talking to some friends today here in Alabama, really smart guys, pastors, ministers, teachers, and they have the same opinion I have. You know, we scream out, we want the glory of God, we want a revival, we want all of these wonderful things in the kingdom of God, we want the Bible to be fulfilled. But folks, a lot of times glory and victory is birthed out of crisis. Right now, our world is in crisis, but I do not want you tonight to be discouraged, but let your heart be encouraged. Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. He said, you believe in God, believe in me also. And Jesus was bringing comfort to his disciples and those around him. Tonight, yes, it is goofy. I talked about rental cars, economies messed up. Little bit of insight into Russia and Ukraine. It's messed up. But with that said, God is in control. God knows what he is doing. And God holds this world, you and I, in the palm of his hand. So we must trust him. We may not understand everything. We cannot see the end from the beginning. And for sure, the Russia-Ukraine situation is very tense and things could go sideways. But if it does, God is in control. And that is what the pastors whom I was talking to today in Ukraine. They were saying, listen, it's very tense here. We're very nervous, but we are praying and we are trusting God. You know, that would be my message for all of us tonight. Let us pray and let us trust God. All right, folks, there you have it. That is our little update tonight. While you're watching this, I'm in a meeting and looking forward to being back with you guys in Pennsylvania at the Palatial Studios next Tuesday night. We've got some work to do down here first, and I'm excited about it. Wherever you're at tonight, whether in Pennsylvania or anywhere else in the country or the world, know that you're loved and the best is yet to come. Look forward to a big-time update on Tuesday night. By then, for sure, we'll have a lot more clarity. So for tonight, signing off on this beautiful evening, may the Lord bless you, may the Lord keep you, may the Lord cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, and give you abundant peace. We love you guys, and you know what's coming, even if we're in Alabama. You got it. We gone!